Hey there and welcome. This is Jinny and I really appreciate you stopping by today, especially during these troubled times. I hope all of you are staying safe and well. Now, more than ever, I am so grateful of my hobby to help me through these surreal times, and I hope you can find some distraction from all the daily news bulletins while watching and enjoying my video. Okay, let's get started with this card. Being stuck at home, I went shopping my stash, and the first things I grabbed there were sequins. They used to be really popular, and as you can see, I purchased a bunch of them. This bag contains a mix of colors, and there I have some in gold, silver, pink, greens. I should have bought them in all shapes and sizes, and also include some neutral colors. But when I purchased them years ago, I was kinda mesmerized by the beautiful colors and just grabbed what I saw. So the moral of the story, be aware of any impulse buy. Anyway, to make my first card, I'm gonna use this beautiful sentiment die. I love the bold and big letters and also how it covers the entire front panel. The white cardstock is in the standard card front size, and I'm putting the die on top, and then I'm gonna run it through my die cut machine. Here I'm taking a white top folding note card, and I'm gonna tape the die cut front panel onto the card base. Using a pencil, I'm tracing the outlines of the die cut sentiment. I'm gonna do a rainbow colored look. So I've already picked out red, pink, yellow, 2 shades of green, and blue. Now I'm dividing the panel into smaller sections so it's easier for me to see where I need to change to the next color. Then I'm squeezing out a little bit of liquid glue onto my scrap paper. I don't have a jewel picker, so using my tweezers, I'm picking up the first red color sequin, dipping it into the adhesive. There I actually have too much glue on the back, so I'm removing a bit of it and then gluing it down onto the panel. I'm gonna repeat this process until the whole sentiment is covered with sequins. The process of gluing down the sequins is so repetitive and I find it quite relaxing. Okay, this is the last one that needs to be glued down, and I'm done with this panel. I then grabbed some white craft foam from my stash and glued them down first, and then added the front panel to my card. This prevents the sequins from getting squashed. For gluing down big panels like that, I usually tend to use liquid glue. This way I can move it around and get everything lined up perfectly. I'm gonna put something heavy on it and set it aside to dry and move on to my next card. For this one, I'm gonna use some Fun Flock. I haven't used them for ages, and to be honest, I even didn't know that I had them. In the jar, they kinda look like embossing powder. I have 2 colors, a light brown shade and a white. I remember how I used to use them for snow and animal images. You can get lovely effects, so I wonder why I forgot about them. Today I'm gonna use the white to make some clouds. Here I have some double-sided tape. It's a leftover piece, so it's quite small, but it's big enough for today's use. I'm drawing a big cloud, then I'm adding a smaller one behind it. I also leave a gap between them. Then I changed my mind and so made the second cloud a little bit bigger. This is a leftover watercolored piece from a previous project, and I'm drawing a kite on the back of it. I'm drawing a cross, and then I just need to connect the ends. Now I have to fussy cut the images, first the kite, then the clouds. I want to make a clean and simple card, so I'm taking off the release paper from the back of the big cloud and adhere it directly to the card base. I chose a light blue cardstock for my card base to have a nice blue sky for my images. Using the tip of my craft knife, I'm removing the release paper. Now I'm grabbing the white fun flock to create the fun effect. I'm taking a small amount of the flock and sprinkle and rub it into the adhesive. Instead of using double-sided tape, you can also sprinkle the flock over any kind of glue. But if you use liquid glue, you have to set it aside to dry completely and then rub off any excess. Big chunks of the flock I put back into the jar. I'm almost out of sight here, but at the left bottom corner you can probably see me rubbing in the flock firmly into the adhesive. Here I'm using my bone folder to do that. This way I can get rid of any excess and can be sure that nothing comes off later. It's really hard to capture in the video, but using flock is such a nice way of adding some texture to your projects. To keep my card really clean and simple, I stamped the sentiment onto the kite. My last oldie but goodie for today is twine, and I'm gonna use the yellow one. After tying a knot, I'm using some foam tape to adhere it to my card. Then I'm putting a drop of liquid glue onto the card base and then glue down the twine. You have to put something heavy on it. Here I'm putting on my acrylic block and then set it aside to dry. After trimming off excess twine, I rounded all the corners and added some black lines to make the kite look more defined, and this card is finished. For my last card for today, I'm gonna use this adorable stamp, which used to be one of my favorites. I wanted to create a card with this image plus some twine, so I'm stamping it on watercolor paper. I'm gonna use watercolor pencils, and for coloring the skin, I'm grabbing light and medium flesh tones. I'm starting out by coloring directly onto the watercolor paper, and then I'm coming in with a darker tone and keep adding the color directly to my image. Using a damp paintbrush, I'm spreading out the colors. By doing this, I'm also blending the colors into each other. This time, I'm picking up the color directly from the tip of the pencil and then apply it. On areas where the color is too intense for my taste, I just use water to remove some of the color. Now I'm coming in with the purple shades. Using the lighter shade, I'm coloring directly onto the paper. Then I'm spreading out the color with a damp brush. When I'm done with the first layer, I'm pulling the color directly from the pencil again and start to add the shading and also increase the color intensity. After I'm done with the lighter shade, I'm coloring directly onto the paper again. This time, I'm using a dark purple shade. Then, I'm spreading out the color with a damp paintbrush. Again, I'm picking up the color directly from the pencil and keep adding it until I'm satisfied with the result. Using a dark brown pencil, I'm starting out by coloring directly onto the watercolor paper. This time I'm gonna use just one color, so I add the shading during the coloring process. Now I'm using a damp paintbrush to spread out the color. Starting out in the middle, I'm moving to the outside line where the color is more intense. Picking up the color directly from the pencil again, I'm applying more color to get a better shading. Now I'm coming to her hair. Again, I'm picking up the color from the pencil and keep adding it onto the image. I want to have some strong highlight in her hair, so there's a small area which I'm gonna leave totally uncolored. I'm using a pinkish shade here, which I'm gonna use on her cheeks too. For coloring the hair, I grabbed a good mix of different brown shades. Here I'm applying a layer of medium brown. All the colors that I'm using in this video will be listed in the description box down below, so if you're interested, just go ahead and check it out. When coloring the hair, I like to kinda flick the brush and draw short strokes. They look like strands of hair and the whole image gets more defined, and I think it also has more dimension. I also like to apply the color little by little and just keep adding the shade to slowly build up the color intensity. Flicking the brush is also a good way to color grass, for example. Okay, now I'm adding a pinkish shade onto her cheeks. The harsh lines I'm blending in by adding the light flesh tone. Now I'm coming in with a bright reddish brown color. This color really brightens up the image and makes it pop, so I think it was a good choice. Now I'm moving to my darkest brown shade. Again, I'm picking the color directly from the tip of the pencil and then keep drawing short strokes. I'm doing this by flicking the brush so the strokes look more natural. This highlighted area makes the hair look really shiny, I think, and I absolutely love that. After I'm done with the hair, I have to color in those teeny tiny ribbons, and the coloring process is finally finished. To make the outlines look crisp and sharp, I'm gonna stamp it one more time. Then I'm gonna round all the corners and adhere that to purple cardstock. Again, I'm rounding the corners and then glue that down onto a white square note card. Now I'm coming in with a twine. This time I'm gonna use the pink one. I first tied a knot, and after squeezing out a drop of liquid glue, I'm adhering the knot. Then I put my acrylic block on top and let it dry for a while. Now I'm applying more liquid glue and adhere the twine. When doing this, I find it easier to rotate the paper instead of the twine. I keep repeating this whole process. Apply the glue, then adhere the twine by rotating my project. Before trimming off the excess, I already added more liquid glue, so all I have to do now is to adhere the twine by pressing it in firmly. Then I put an acrylic block on top and let it dry for a while. Now I need to round all the corners and I'm almost done. Using a white gel liner, I'm adding 3 little dots on each of her cheeks. This extra step makes her look even cuter. As a finishing touch, I'm adding some faux stitching around the edges. Shopping my stash makes me do things that I used to do, and drawing faux stitching is definitely one of the things I don't do anymore. It's not easy to stay in the line, so just take your time when drawing faux stitching, and this finishes off my last card. Here are the completed cards one by one. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I also hope you'd consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm gonna make videos all about handmade cards, and I would love to have you joining me for the next one. I also want to mention that my videos will be made in English and German, so the next one will be in German. So before you go, make sure you click the subscribe button, and that's it for now. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time. Bye!